deal a lot with grief. I'm an end-of-life doula. And my questions changed about 5 times since coming on board. But back to my original question is how I can work on myself. But how can I best support people on their path dealing with fear? And I'm not saying I'm not without fear, because there's programming there, I know. But how can I best support people so that they're not entering into this beautiful process with a lot of fear and regret?
Yes, it's a good question. Ultimately, each individual is on their own path, on their own journey, and you cannot fix it for everyone. It won't be fixed by imparting any beliefs or imparting even any wisdom unless they're available for it. The presence in you, your capacity to meet death and the journey of death, which includes fears and everything that might arise in that. Your capacity to meet that as a presence and as openness is really the most powerful possibility for the other to drop a little bit of their fear and relax into now. And that, I say again, doesn't come from trying to convince them or, Let me give you an example. And I don't want to go into great detail because I've often said this. When my mother was dying, she died very unexpectedly and very rapidly and sort of out of the blue. So it wasn't a long journey. She was a very fearful woman. She was a very dramatic woman. She was a very me-centered woman. She was, I could go on. Death was probably the scariest thing for her. There was a drama around it initially, and so on. At some point, and all the family around and her sister, and they were all, oh my God, this is terrible. We got to keep her alive, and this. Tavi and I went. She was on the other side of the world somewhere. We flew over. We sat with her. We had no idea. I haven't been with anyone that was dying, not directly like that. But there was no other way to be with her than just be with her. She couldn't speak. There was, surgery going on here. She couldn't speak. She lost her capacity to speak, to eat, to almost to breathe. But she was there. She was alert. There was only one way to just be and allow. And there was no fear here. There was no fear because death has been examined, both as the way that we're examining it now, but also in terms of my own awakening. Therefore, there's no fear. It simply is a letting go, an undoing of something that appeared to be real, this finite self, this finite life, but actually is it's impermanent. This life, my life, is impermanent. At death, it will no longer exist. It will have been a dream. And to just be with her, she finally let go. We weren't trying to do anything. We had no idea whether she'd live or she'd die, but there was no more fear. And in that being and supporting what needed to be supported on a physical and taking care of level, she let go and it was peaceful. And that's the last thing we had imagined for her. Because initially she was, in a hell realm. That's what you do for people that are dying. And then there's a part that you cannot do. It's not a doing, it's a being.